Hi friends, it's Lily. I appreciate you being here with me and watching and joining me for this brief process video that I have put together for us. Now let me show you what I have just done, but before I start, I want to thank Liz, the Paper Project, for her inspiration. She put together a folio the other day, and I was just so inspired by it. And my camera is going to be a little bit jiggly only because I am not on a stable surface. I am doing my best, but I want to share again the folio that I was inspired to create by Liz. And I will link her video below just so you can take a look at the folio that she prepared. And I just love the idea of using a I believe she used a 9x12 envelope. And I just happen to have some envelopes. It's not 9x12. It is actually a 9x13 envelope, but I made it work. She made the process video so easy that I immediately got to it and started to create my own. So I've already made a few. I just wanted to give it a try, and let me tell you, it is one of the easiest projects that I've ever done. I am putting my own personal twist to this, but that's okay. When we watch other makers create things, we can copy and share, or we can copy and share. Is that the right term? We can copy and recreate what someone else has done, or we can take from it and make it very similar, but add your own personal touches to it, which is what I've done here. Though I think hers is absolutely amazing, and I like the idea. I wanted to make sure that the one that I created was suited my needs. Is that right? Let me show you what I've done, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. So she did this folio, and let's see, let's do this one. I haven't put anything in it. Okay. So she made this awesome folio out of the envelope, and she used, in hers, there's a belly band, there's a flip out envelope, and then there's pockets on the inside. I took that and then came up with this, which is very similar to hers, especially with this 1/4 inch spine here, and I'll show you how I did that. My takeaway from her video is how I can use each one of these folios as a signature to create my own ephemera book, or like a booklet or like a journal. So what I plan on doing is making 4 of these, and then somehow creating a cover from the same envelope to make like a book. But in this video, I'm only going to show you how it is that I created the folio. Okay, that is going to work for me. Now, I did 2 versions of this folio. I did a sew version, but I also did a no-sew version of it. This one here is a no-sew. So there are, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4 pages to the folio, and it's I used a scrapbooking paper, and then I glued pieces of vellum, just glued them down to make these pockets, and then I did it to the inside of the envelope as well, and then I didn't seal the top of the envelope, made a pocket for more ephemera. And on the back cover, I also added 2 more pockets. Again, this one is no sew. I just glued it down. And then I started tucking some of the little embellishments that I've already began cutting and putting away. And it's perfect. Let me tell you one thing. The folios, the ephemera folios have been around for a little bit, and I thought they were amazing. There's so many different versions of the ephemera folios, and I didn't think I needed it. I thought I was fine without it, having all of these in envelopes or in cardboard boxes, and I thought I'm fine with that. But when I saw Liz's take on this folio that she made with the envelope, I just really thought that this was the best version of an ephemera folio that I've seen. So kudos to Liz, because it is absolutely amazing. And I can't believe that I went this long without having one of these ephemera folios. And now I just absolutely love it. And I knew that one was not going to be enough for me. So that is the reason why I am making multiples of it. Okay, let me show you really quick how I did this one. The only difference in this folio is that instead of gluing the vellum pockets, I stitched them. And I stitched them onto the scrapbooking paper before I glued it down to the actual envelope. And that really, it took no time at all to sew them. I did just a really quick, simple stitch, kind of wonky, but it's okay. And you'll see that, you know, those are the pockets, 2 pockets on each of the pages. And is this upside down? No. Oh, and here's the open pocket there, which is the envelope. So you could see that. And I made 2 of them with the stitched pockets. But right now I am going to show you, we're going to create one. We are going to make one. And for the sake of time, I have already cut out all of the pieces that I am going to use. We're going to start with using an envelope. Mine is a 9 by 13. I've already taken the hardware off of the envelope, and it kind of tore a little bit there, but I'll just use a little bit of glue to stick that down. It's really not going to matter because I didn't do it to the others because it didn't tear as much. So just be careful if yours have hardware. Just be careful if you tear it a little bit, just use a little bit of glue. Okay, and then the other thing that I did is I glued the flap to the inside. I'm going to glue the flap to the inside only because I'm going to use, this is going to be a working pocket. And when I put items in there, I don't want them to catch on this flap. So I'm just going to seal it with some glue. And I'm going to try to be really careful so that I don't jiggle the camera very much. So just press that down. And this glue, which I've only been using for a few days, is amazing. It dries, it sticks super fast. It has a really strong bond. I actually didn't even put any there. Okay, here we go. Let's put some down. Okay, there we go. Now it's sticking. Now it's gonna stick. Okay, but I don't want this to close. The next thing I did is, again, this is 13, my envelope is 13 inches long. So I found the center of it, which is at 6.5. And I don't know if you can tell what I've done. So the middle of it is about right here. So what I did is I found the center of it at 6.5, and I went 1/8 of an inch on either side of the center. So you can see where I've marked it there. And that is what is going to give me that quarter inch spine. And I don't have, I'm going to score it. I don't have a scoreboard that is long enough. So I'm going to use the, my cutter. I'm going to use the, what is this called? The blade runner. I don't know what it's called. The blade track as, the score guide. Okay, so I've already marked it, and I'm gonna take, where did it go? Whoa, sorry about that. Okay, I'm gonna take this little bone folder. Now I'm just gonna score it, and I'm gonna go slow because it's really not meant for scoring, and so I don't want it to go off track. Earlier today I went really fast and went off the track and made a really bad score line. Okay, so again, these lines are only 1/8 of an inch. on either side of that middle line of the center line. So now what I'm going to do is just fold it. Okay, I want to show you. So you could see how, and this Liz says that the reason why she does this little 1/4 inch spine is it gives you more room to store your ephemera. That way it prevents from having that alligator mouth. And this right here is going to make such a difference. It's just perfect. And so you could see that there. So now we have a little 1/4 inch spine. You can go and, you know, crease it really well with your bone folder. But that'll work right there. Okay. So do you see how that, you could see that. Okay. So now what I've done is I've taken some scrapbooking paper and I've already cut it. And let me show you what scrapbooking paper I used. So this is a huge paper pad that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. I want to say in December or January. It's the Theodosius Square paper pad. It's by Paper Studio, and you can pick this up at Hobby Lobby. Okay, so I took pages from this paper pad. And so here are my pages. I've already cut them to size. And all I did was trim each down to about 1/4 of an inch all the way around. So these are actually 6 by 9 3/4. Okay, and that is what is going to give me a little border all the way around. And the reason I did 6 is because I wanted to make sure that I could use a 12 by 12 sheet, not waste too much paper, and have enough for both sides of the page. Okay, so now I am going to glue it down, and I am going to use, I'm going to use some 3-in-1 glue. Okay. On some of the other ones, I actually used the glue stick, and it worked really well. I like either. Either will work just fine. And so just position it so that you have a little bit of space away from that score line. Okay. This is going to be perfect. I have been purchasing some digitals lately from Tracie Foxx, from Calico Collage, also the Mad Scrapper, and a few others that I've purchased. And so I've been fussy cutting and using them in my projects. And again, just, you want to avoid that score line. And then I didn't get any glue here on that edge because I don't want it to shut. So just smooth that down. And now I'm going to do the same thing with these. I'm using these for the outside cover. Let me see. Let me do that one there. And I really like this scrapbooking paper. It's super thin, and so it's not going to make it. It's not going to make the folio bulky at all. I could have used any other type of paper as well, but this is I had coffee dyed paper. I have junk papers, wrapping paper, but I really did forget I had this paper pad, so I'm glad that I remembered I had it, because it really is pretty. Okay. And once I figure out how I'm going to make the cover for the 4 folios, I will record that process as well, because what I'd like to do is use another 9x13 envelope and somehow make it work as a cover to hold the 4 folios. So I'm going to play around with that for a little bit after I'm done with this, and if it works out, I'll record a process video and show how I do that. But for right now, one step at a time. Okay, so there we go. So I'm going to go back around to the other side, and I've already cut the vellum strips. Let me tell you that you don't have to use vellum. Liz actually uses the pieces that are left over from the papers that she used. And you could do that. You can use contrasting papers to glue down as a pocket. I just happen to have vellum as well, and I wanted to see what was behind. I wanted them somewhat transparent, but this would have been a great idea as well to use these as pockets. So I'll save these, and because I'm going to make more of these. Okay, so I'm going to save these for future use. But for right now, I am going to use the vellum, and this is vellum that I found in my parents' garage. That was a lucky find. They were from like an old wedding invitation kit. And so just a little bead of glue all the way around. And these are cut, well, these are obviously 6 inches. These are 6 inches, I hope I'm not going off frame. 6 inches wide, or long, wide. 6 inches wide. And 2.5 inches deep. Okay, and it'll dry pretty quick. And this is for my personal use. I mean, I want it to look nice, of course. But I'm trying to be careful, as careful as I possibly can be. I suppose I would take even extra care if I was making this as a gift or, as an order. Okay, that one's a little bit wider than this one. So my measurements are off a little bit, but that's okay. This glue is so nice. It's just like the Fabri-Tac. Well, it's made by the same company. I started using that 3-in-1, how long ago? Before the Fabri-Tac. Crafty Chica. She was using it one time and just raved about how wonderful it was. And that was a few years ago. And so I really like it. It works just like the Fabri-Tac. Okay, so that side is ready. Let's flip it around because I'm going to put some on the front and the back cover as well. I suppose if this was going to be like a standalone folio, I would do exactly what Liz did. And that's decorate the front cover. Because she did. I mean, hers is just so pretty. She decorated the front cover and made it look so nice. But because I plan on using these more like a signature, so I'll decorate the cover once I get to that point. That'll be, again, a future video. What are you guys working on? I have, I think I had mentioned I'm sure I did. I mentioned in a video how I had taken an essential job during this pandemic. Well, last Sunday was my last day. And that's because they don't need my services right now. And so, I mean, they can call me if they feel they need me. They'll give us a call. Me and, my colleagues. They'll give us a call if they need us. But for now, they took us off the calendar, off the work schedule. And we'll just wait to hear if they need us back for more work. So I have a little bit of extra time right now to create and organize the few things that I have been collecting. It's amazing how many things I have. I started with 0 because I have mentioned that all of my things are in California. So I started with absolutely nothing, not even a pair of scissors. Now I probably have about 6 pairs of scissors. These are the 2 I'm using now. I have a cutter. This is a great cutter. I have a little scoreboard. And so just little by little, my sister has let me borrow a ton of things. She's gifted me a ton of things. And just little by little, I've been collecting some. And before the pandemic, before the lockdown or the quarantine, my sister and I had visited a few thrift stores. And so I managed to pick up a few wonderful things, like punches. Picked up punches and just a few random things that I could use. And then all of the goodies that I found in my parents' basement and their garage. So I now have a pretty well-stocked craft room. So, okay, look at this. So there it is, you guys. This took 10, 15 minutes to create. This is the best folio that I have seen out there in YouTube world. Well, the best, they're all great, but as far as creating one with such ease and using this envelope just made it so easy. And I guess if I didn't have these envelopes, maybe, I would make some of the other ones or use other materials. But these envelopes, I've actually found a box of these in my parents' basement. And I want to say it's probably, that box is over 10 years old from when I used to have my company and I stored a ton of office supplies in my parents' basement. So that is the folio. And I think it is amazing. And I can't wait to put them all together. I got up for a second. I wanted to check the time because I want to show you one other thing that I made. So let's go back to this one here. So I showed you the pocket. I made I made an envelope. It's not clear, from tracing paper. And these are Tracie Foxx labels. And I'm not going to fussy cut them. I'm just going to leave them in here because it's actually easier for me to look at the sheet and then decide which one I'm going to use instead of cutting all the little pieces and then thumbing through to try to find the one that I need. So this is what is going to work best for me. And so I created this and it is just folded and glued over. So let's make this envelope to put in the pocket. Where is it? Okay. And you could see it just fits perfect in this big pocket. It's a lot better than having to put loose items in here. And so there is that. These are Tracie Foxx florals and botanicals. And then I believe, yes, these are also Tracie Foxx birds. So I have been busy fussy cutting. And there's so much more room for more. And okay, let's set that aside. Whoops. And let's make the envelope. But I'm not going to put anything in here yet until it fully dries. I don't want anything sticking to the sides, but I mean, this is just, I am so happy I watched Liz's video on how to do this. I mean, just kudos to her. She did a great job. Totally inspired by it. Okay, here is my sheet of tracing paper. And I didn't measure anything because the tracing paper is the perfect width for this. So I'm just going to fold it over. I'm not going to do any cutting yet. So just going to fold that. And then take the glue. I mean, super, super easy envelope. And I'm just going to, let me fold this over for the flap. And I'm just going to run a bead of glue on the sides. Okay. Woo! There. Yeah, it doesn't get any easier than that. I love using this as my backdrop paper because it just makes it so easy. I can write on it, stamp on it. This is the packaging from, I think it was Home Goods or the thrift store. That's what they used to package. Okay, so now I have made an envelope. So the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a notch right here, just to make it easier. Now, the tracing paper is, it is really thin, and if I try to punch a hole through this, it's not gonna work. And so I'm going to put this right behind it, and I'm gonna give it a little punch right there. Let me grab my punch. That's just a little tip. Because if I did it alone, it would just pinch it. It wouldn't even cut it. So now I have an envelope to use in the folio. Okay. So there we go. That way all of the items are in one place, and I'm probably going to put some of the phrases that I purchased from Calico Collage, and then some of my own phrases that I've made, and put those in here, and then they'll be neatly tucked away in this side envelope right here. You guys, thank you so much for joining me, and please go over to Liz at the Paper Project and take a look at her wonderful video. Again, I'm going to link it down below so that you can go and visit her and give her kudos. But look at this. I can't believe I made these 3 earlier, and after I did the first one, it took me minutes just to do the others. And I like them either way. I like them stitched or glued. They're both, either way is just fine, but I wanted to show you both in case you don't have a sewing machine. You can glue it down. And so do you see how I'm going to have 4 signatures here? 4 of them. So I am going to figure out how to make a cover so that I have now created my own little ephemera journal book. Okay, so thank you, Liz. I mean, what a great project. I love this. Thank you. I wish you all good health. I hope you're all staying safe and keeping yourselves busy and being crafty and creating. You guys, I appreciate you. Please, if you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I am happy to share some tips, answer your questions, anything. You know, say hello. Let me know what you're working on. You guys take care. And next video, we'll talk about the cover. I appreciate you guys so much. Take care. Bye.